The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN and score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is RITHMM. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really Row, a villain Row. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Well. The lock heater comes to an end because of 3 points. 169. 169 is where that, what was it? The Wings and the Sky. Because the Wings didn't want to come up to play. Ultimately, that's what it was. Because the Wings didn't want to come to play. I should have just took the Sky +5. That's what I should have did. But it's okay. Because guess what? I hit a parlay. And we hit a parlay. Sky +5. Lynx, what was it? No, it wasn't that. It was Sky +5. It was Dream +5.5. And then it was, what was that last leg? I don't remember actually. It was something. I gotta go pull up the card. Either way, while I get that, Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
Can't complain. A nice sweep on the last episode. Ended up having a Courtney Williams sweat there with the over 11.5 points. Got there, scored 6 in the final 6 minutes. Had some free throws at the end. So nice win there. For the dog, really never in doubt. Had the Sky money line parlayed with Carter over 19.5 points. If the Sky were going to win, it was going to be because of Kennedy Carter carrying the team offensively, and she took over the entire game. So nice, easy winner there. Nice sweep. So hopefully we'll keep it rolling here in the Tuesday card. But overall, can't complain. Games went pretty much the way we thought they were. A couple of dramatic games there, most of the Indiana game, which the Dream probably should have won, but ended up blowing. And then you saw the Lynx have some shenanigans at the end there against the Mystics. I don't know what number you got. I know some people got hooked, some people did not. So depends on what number, and you had whatever the Liberty were doing in the fourth quarter of that game. That was almost an embarrassing choke job. They held on to win, though. I believe they once again middled. Depends on what number you got, but Asia Wilson being out, and you're up by like 17, 19 points or whatever in the third quarter, you kind of have to win that game. It was kind of embarrassing that the Aces even made it that close, but nice job of the Liberty closing. Brianna had a big block. Jonquel made some free throws at the end, but that game was really dicey for no reason. And it was kind of an, I'd say, alarming final quarter for the Liberty, where they reverted back to some bad tendencies from last year, but they held on. So I guess it doesn't matter in the end.
It kind of matters. It doesn't matter. I guess we'll just say it's a letdown. They saw Asia wasn't playing.
I thought it was over.
Yeah, and it was a letdown. I'll give them that. Okay. I'm sorry. It was plus 590. Missed.
Well, you can express it though. What exactly were your main concerns? Just the fact that mentally they're not tough enough to win a title again? Is that where your head was going?
No, they just do this. They do this thing where they let teams that are not in their stratosphere hang around with them. I don't think it's any question.
It was more of a spread thing. It wasn't actually like a long-term title thing.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I guess I'm kind of focused on the long-term title. In terms of the spread, yeah, they just kind of let down. It was just a letdown. Like, seeing Asia not play, and it's like, all right, we're gonna win. And then once the Aces were hitting shots, and honestly, if the Aces played like that, how they play when Asia is actually in the lineup, they are probably the Aces of old again. But you don't get games like that from Kelsey Plum all the time, and that's the inconsistency of it. Jackie still hit those 2 threes though.
Yep.
Jackie still hit those
She
2
did.
threes. That was all that mattered for me in that one. She hit them 2 threes. What happened? Yeah.
Well, you saw the Dream lose in overtime. That game was fun, but the Dream kind of had control.
They
of that
cashed
game
5.5. I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
I just needed 5.5 for the parlay. Dream 5.5 hit. Sky +5 hit. Mystics
I
first
saw Alicia
half.
Gray threes got there, so that's what counts.
Yep, that's my dog. Alicia Gray 3+3s that hit as well. So I mean, we didn't get the lock, but we got 2 big plus money plays. So it was still a good day. It was still a good day.
Do we want to talk
Um,
about whatever happened in that tankathon by the Sparks at the end for not covering 10.5?
not really.
I mean, that was an all-timer. I tweeted about it if you follow me on Twitter. If not, then you know where to find me. It's on the screen, at Reichel Radio. The Sparks, as a reminder, were getting 10.5 in that game at home. And they were actually leading with about 6.5 minutes to go. They were leading by a score of 66-64 with 6:44 left. They scored, 66-64. They scored 1 point in the final 6 minutes and 43 seconds. They got outscored 15-1 in the final 6:26, and they lost by 12. So we know they're tanking, but some people are wondering if Kurt Miller might be aware of some potential lines and stuff. I'm not going to go that far, but when you piece together the fourth quarter, whatever that was against the Sun, and that fourth quarter against the Wings from a couple weeks ago, I can understand why people are suspicious. I'll put it that way, because that was embarrassing. 1 point? What, are you serious? 1 point in the final 6:40? It's disgusting. So I wanted to mention that too.
And it's like quietly, they've been quiet. Like they had that game and that pick me up game against the Liberty where they went out there and won, and then they've just kind of every single game. I mean, even in that Fever game, they were competitive at one point. Like
Yeah, just first half, and then fourth quarter comes around, they just immediately pull the rug.
Yeah, you got to fade that team in the fourth quarter, especially if they have a lead. If they have a lead, 100% fade them in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about that game again later on. But before we do that, got to talk to you about NFL and college football full on in action. And you got to make sure that you're subscribed to the Sports Gambling Podcast and the College Football Experience for free picks for every single game against the spread. Make sure you go check out the College Experience and Sports Gambling Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah.
Let's see. What, can't hear me?
I don't know who's having an issue with the audio. So I have no idea. You can let us know, by the way, in the comment section in the live stream if you're having any issues audio-wise, because we're not going to be able to know.
Yeah. I mean, Scott sounds fine. Do I sound fine, Scott?
No, you sound fine.
To me.
I think you're good.
You sound fine to me. Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know.
I don't know. I guess, cool. I mean, maybe it's a third-party thing.
Could be. I don't know.
We both hear each other. All right. We got 3 games. Let's go ahead and get to it. First game up on the docket, we have the Minnesota Lynx on the road going to play the Atlanta Dream. Scott, this line opened up 6.5. I'll tell you, I just did a radio show for Adam Kaufman, and the line was 5.5 when I gave it out there. Now it's down to 5. So I don't know if they were listening and they jumped on the 5.5, but I'm telling you, I just came off a show, gave it out at 5.5. Now it's down to 5. 158 is the total. I do not see any remnants of an injury report or anything different here. Let me double check.
I don't think I see any news either. I don't think anybody got injured in the middle of the games. I think Terrell froze. So, yeah. While Terrell's frozen, I guess I'll give my thoughts on the game in the meantime. So, for this one, we know the Lynx were able to win the last game against the Mystics. They didn't look good, but they got the job done in the game. Once again, shout out to Courtney Williams for going over her points. Point is, though, the Lynx have been good. They have won 3 straight. They have won a bunch of games, actually, with the exception of the random no-show against the Wings. But if you look at the actual schedule, they ended up winning 7 in a row, then lost 1, then won 3 in a row. So they have won 10 of their last 11. As for the Dream have been, how do I put this? Not good lately. They're 12-23. It was a pretty important game against the Fever, at least for them, because they're fighting for the final playoff spot. But they've been kind of underwhelming, as they have lost 6 of their last 8. So the thing I will point out, though, the Dream did win their last home game against the Wings. They've just been really bad on the road lately, so we'll see if they can piece it together. Now, for the head-to-head, the Lynx are 3-0. They've won all 3 meetings by 7+ points. The argument, I guess, is the Lynx are kind of coasting into the 1 seed in the West, as they are currently 4 games ahead of Vegas. As for the Dream, they're fighting for every single win because they are currently fighting for the final, or one of the final playoff spots in the actual league. Now, the only concern for the Lynx would be if they rest people, which is a question mark that's being brought up by Johnson, because who's making a good point, because the Lynx have arguably nothing to play for. Momentum could be an issue. Not momentum. I'd say overall motivation could be an issue. I think for this game, though, based on where the line's located, I might have to lean to the Lynx here, at least based on price. You might want to wait closer to game time. If the line keeps dropping, I see that Christian is mentioning it's 4.5 now. I would probably not bet this overnight. I would probably wait until morning to potentially bet this. But if you're looking at just the overall concept, if the Lynx are at full strength, should they be favored by 4.5 against the Dream? No, they should be favored by a lot more than that. Probably like 6.5 if I had to guess. So the line moving does suggest that maybe Collier or somebody's going to sit out for this game, especially since you saw the Aces lose over the weekend to give the Lynx another game advantage because they ended up beating the Mystics on Sunday. So with them having a 4-game lead over the Aces in the West, that does definitely suggest the Lynx might end up resting some people in the last couple games of the season. A reminder, by the way, we don't have many games left in the season, so keep that in mind. For this one, though, the Lynx are 3 back of the Liberty. Do we think they're going to catch the Liberty in the standings? Probably not. I guess the question that you'll have to ask yourselves is, do you think the Lynx actually go for it and hope that the Liberty implode? My guess is no. So I'm assuming that the Lynx are going to potentially be sitting some people here because the Liberty beating the Aces last game probably eliminates the Lynx's chances of catching them for the 1 seed. So for this one, I would lean Lynx, but I'm not going to bet it because the idea of them resting players for this matchup does make sense if you believe the Lynx aren't exactly fighting for seeding at this point. So for this one, I'm going to pass for right now. But if I get confirmation that everyone's playing, I'll take the Lynx. You? I think Terrell joined and froze again. I think. Not totally sure. Okay. Anyway, that's my thoughts for that matchup. I'll wait for Terrell to come back, so I'll stall until then. But in general, that's going to be my thoughts for that game. I'll lean to the Lynx right now, but I'm not going to bet it. I got to wait for more injury news and potential rest information because the line dropping pretty heavily the night before does suggest that the Lynx might be sitting some people. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Looking at the actual player props, though, just quickly checking to see what I like. Of course, Jordan Canada assists is always tempting at 5.5 because we know she's on 6 a lot of the time. Did lay in 5 last game against Indiana, and that game did go to overtime, so that is a bit concerning. But so far against the Lynx this season, did have no meetings against them. But last year ended up going 2-2 to this prop. Both times, though, she had 8 that she went over. So potentially that's worth a look. I like Charles in this matchup. I don't mind the double-double at around minus 130. She's been a machine, and we know that rebounds-wise, she's been great. She's had at least 10 rebounds in 5 straight, at least 10 rebounds in 8 of the last 9. Mentioning the Lynx, they're also not a great rebounding team. Well, we mentioned this before. And I do think that Charles has a pretty good matchup based on that and how the Lynx are willing to go small to use the versatility and the three-point shooting. That does definitely allow Charles to potentially just park herself in the lane for a pretty nice overall opportunity for some defensive rebounds, maybe offensive rebounds as well. So far this season, looking at the meeting, she was okay in one of them. Ended up having 4 in the first one, 4 in the last one. Had 10 in the middle, though, so keep that in mind. But Charles rebounds 9.5. I think I have to go with the over, at least based on a recent form. But I do like the double-double as well. It's a good matchup for Charles, whether everyone plays or not. So I'll go with Charles rebounds in this game. You like anything, Lonte? Not Lonte, sorry. Terrell.
Wait, what?
Whoops. My bad. I did the baseball show with Lonte yesterday, so my bad.
Dang. I was like, yo, Lonte ain't even been around these parts.
Lonte's not been in these parts. My bad. I was with Lonte yesterday on the MLB show, so my bad. But yeah, Terrell, welcome back. You like anything for this game?
Yeah, I'm on Dream +5 here.
Okay.
It's just too much. It's too much at stake for the Dream.
Do you think people are sitting?
Every game.
Do you think people are sitting? Because that's kind of something that we are, I'd say, thinking about for the sake of the overnight. Because the line's moving pretty heavily. Is that just a motivation thing, or do they just think the Lynx might actually be resting some people? Because it might be both.
Nah, you don't have the roster size to be sitting, like to just be sitting people because you want to in the W. I don't think we're at that point of the season. Like I feel like maybe one game.
I think Terrell froze again. Potentially. Yeah, Terrell got a new I forgot what it was, a modem, I think. And I don't think it's actually working. So we're going to have to figure that out in the future. Point is, though, for the sake of that matchup, once again, for props, I am going to go with Tina on the over on her rebounds. I am kind of tempted by Carlton, actually, who's quietly been really good at rebounding for her prop. Her prop is currently set at 3.5 at minus 138. She's had 4+ rebounds in 6 straight. So I don't mind the over on Carlton rebounds, which is kind of a new market. I don't remember actually seeing her rebounds being available in the past. But she's also been good in the head-to-head against the Dream. She's had at least 4 rebounds in 4 straight against the Dream in 3 meetings this season, 4, 8, and 5. So I don't mind Carlton rebounds here at potentially getting 3.5. I think you're looking at a spot where Carlton can get some maybe added minutes if they end up resting, for example, Collier, and you might see Carlton have to get a bit more run. But I am going to go with the over rebounds on Carlton. I think that's kind of a sneaky play. The Dream are not a good rebounding team in general, with the exception of Charles. So I do think you're looking at a spot where Carlton can do some damage on the boards. I'm trying to think of anything else I am tempted by for this matchup. I guess Ryan Howard points I have to at least consider. I mean, she's coming off of 3 straight 30+ point games. Her props at 19.5. I get the argument is the Lynx are a great defensive team, but the minutes have been there for Howard. The playoffs are at stake. She's going to have to play a bunch of minutes. And in the head-to-head, she has not done that well this season. She's gone over in 1 of the 3 games. But I think I am going to go with Howard over her points. Based on the stakes at play and how the Dream are fighting for a playoff spot, I think Howard has to play probably over 35 minutes at this point. We know how good she is. So I'm going to go with Howard over as well on the points there. I am going to go with Carlton rebounds at 3.5, and I am going to go on the over there, and I'll go with Charles double-double at like minus 140. Just take the rebounds, though, at minus 142. I'll sacrifice 2 cents for her to not potentially get the 10 points. So, yeah, I'll go with the minus 142 for her for over 9.5 rebounds as well. See somebody asking about the actual total in this one. For the total at 158.5. The head-to-head meetings this season have been kind of in between. I don't have much for the total here. It comes back also to the Lynx potentially sitting players. I'm going to pass on the total. I'd lean over if I had to pick, because the Lynx have actually had some high-scoring games lately. Gave up 71 to the Mystics, which is pretty good. Give up 88, though, to the Fever, 74 to the Sky, 94 to the Wings, 76 to the Mercury, 80 to the Fever. So they've been fine defensively, but you can argue that it is a letdown spot. I think I'm going to pass on the total. I don't see much value on that personally, so I'm not going to bother. But once again, I'll stick with the overall props. And for now, I'll lean Lynx, but I'm not going to bet that overnight. I can't. I feel like there's too much uncertainty with the injury report. So once again, my thoughts for this matchup. I'll go Carlton over 3.5 rebounds, Charles over 9.5 rebounds. I don't mind Howard over 19.5 points. And I'm trying to think if I want to go for Courtney Williams over 12.5 points. It is plus money, but I think I preferred it at 11.5. I'm not going to take it at 12, I don't think. So that's going to do it for my thoughts on that game. Terrell, welcome back. How's it going?
I mean,
you good?
Am I? I don't know.
I think you're back. I don't know. You're kind of like stuck.
I don't know. I don't know, man. And it's so funny because while all that is going, I'm just on my phone looking at videos using the Wi-Fi. So like I have no idea what's going on, but Jet Teague is hilarious, by the way. If you don't listen to Jet Teague's podcast.
Oh, you mean the shoving of of LeBron? That clip that was going around?
Oh, no, not that one. Oh, we're talking about how he is the reason behind what's it called? The picture of Kat and Cousins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's the reason behind that picture.
Yeah. I saw that too earlier.
So I'm literally been sitting here laughing because somebody quoted it and said that Jeff Teague be popping up in NBA stories like Stan Lee and the Marvels.
Yeah. It's a brief cameo, but you can't have it without him. But any player props you like for this game? Because I already went through mine.
Oh man. Let's see. Where's Ryan Howard threes at? Did that come down?
Let me check. I mentioned the points at 19.5, which I was intrigued by.
Nope, it's at 3.5. Can't play that. Still can't play that anymore.
It's plus 132. If you wanted it. 4.5 is plus 265. She's made 5+ threes in 3 of the last 4.
No.
I prefer her points personally at 19.5.
I like Tina Charles.
Yeah, I like the rebounds too.
Yeah, I think Tina Charles rebounds is really good. She's gonna push Nafisa Collier, and I think her and Nafisa Collier both have a good rebound day. But that's about it. I was looking at the rebounds. I think this is a. I didn't get to talk about the game at all, but I think it's a grinded out under kind of game where, uh, the Atlanta Dream just kind of hang around. Like I think they just kind of hang around in this one. It's not a lot of big motivation for the Minnesota Lynx. It's a lot more motivation for the Atlanta Dream here, and they're getting incredible play from their backcourt, Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard recently. In addition to what Tina Charles is forced to give them because Tanisha Wright gives her 20 attempts a game. Yeah, I think that this Atlanta team, they're going to be scrappy. I think they're going to be scrappy, and they're going in here fighting for a playoff spot. If they lose close. Pretty much similar to what they did with the Fever. So I like them to get the win at home.
I'm kind of approaching, I don't want to say wings territory with this team, but there's a certain sense of just regret if I ever put money backing these actual teams. I feel
Mhm.
much better about the player props. For Atlanta,
Well,
you know what to expect for the most part, with Howard shooting a bunch, Charles rebounds, and usually Canada assists if it's at 5.5. For the actual spreads, I just can't handle this team in the wings. I just can't bother because they don't put together a full 40, and it pisses me off.
mhm.
So
Well, I cashed 5.5 and hit a parlay with them, so
yeah,
I'm cool with them.
but
I'm
even
straight.
with that, they still blew a decent lead in that game, which made
Yeah,
it
like if
somewhat
I had a money
interesting.
line play, I would have definitely been pissed off and annoyed. But I think it's similar to what Minnesota did with Washington.
Just
Get
let them
down
hang
early.
around and win
Yeah,
the game
get
late.
down early and let them hang around, hang around, hang around. Except Washington doesn't have any incentive to go out there and win the game. The Dream do.
I can't say that. The Wizards, the Mystics are close too. I mean, the Mystics are only 2 games back of a playoff spot. They were one game
I
back
don't think
entering Sunday.
they have any incentive. I don't think they have any
I'm
incentive.
just saying, technically, they were 1 game back of Chicago for
I,
a playoff spot on Sunday.
I think they played themselves into. I think the Mystics have done this thing where they played themselves into a middle ground where they're not going to get Paige Beckers, but they're also not going to make the playoffs. So they're just kind of out there playing basketball. Like,
So they're the Chicago Bulls.
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah, I don't think that they're ever going to challenge for this spot. I think it's clear dream sky, but I also don't think that they're going to go out and lose all the games like by a whole bunch of margin and start tanking either. Like
Yeah,
they're a weird team. They're a really weird team.
they are.
All right, and I love the under 158.5.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess since I was gone, it doesn't feel like it. But I'm gonna go ahead and do another read because Underdog Fantasy here for Fantasy Pick'em. Chance to win 1,000 times your entry. NFL is back, and there are tons of pick'em specials to help you get you started. So go out there, use a special. Hey, they'll give you a whole bunch of different things. They'll give you, hey, even WNBA specials as well. Plus, you can get a first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Make sure you use that promo code NBASGPN. That's NBASGPN for a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash over at Underdog Fantasy. All right, maybe I can actually talk about this game. The New York Liberty are on the road going to play the Dallas Wings. Wings are catching 9.5 at home. Scott, I'm not going to lie here too. I mentioned something about this total. It was 171.5 when I did. Now it's 172.5. I actually do have injury news here. I don't think Benajelani Hamilton is playing.
Okay.
She's questionable officially, so it's officially questionable for her to play. She did. Well, it was in that last game against the Aces where she took a hard fall and really hurt her knee. She was done for the rest of the game. They didn't say anything more about it, in saying that it's not a significant injury, but I think it's gonna hold her out for some time. So I don't think that Benajelani Hamilton is gonna play in this one, but she's officially ruled as questionable. Yeah, and that's it. Nothing else for these two teams that I have here.
So just for reference, by the way, for standings, I'm sure some people are going to be worried about rest. The Liberty are 3 up on the Lynx with 5 to go for the 1 overall seed. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So, do you think this hit anybody?
No, it's too
Okay.
early. It's too early. It's too many. It's too many games to be played. So no, I think that maybe when you get to, so they got Dallas. Minnesota,
If they win that Lynx
Washington.
game, they basically clinch the 1 seed. So
Yeah, so I think maybe the Mystics on the road, and
I can see them
then
benching people for road games and starting the starters, unless they clinch everything for the dream game. And at that point, they're not going to use anybody.
yeah,
So
I think possibly Mystics and Dream is where you could see them sit one or two. Not everybody. You can't
yeah,
sit everybody,
now you can
but
stagger it.
you could sit one, like maybe Sabrina sits against the Mystics and Stewie sits against the Dream. However, they would do it. It would be something like that, but definitely not this game. Absolutely not. Everybody's playing.
I think I'm going to take the approach of the Liberty using everybody for this game, and if they win, they might sit people for game 2. Maybe. I can see them sitting people for road games. That's kind of how I potentially look at it, but do you want to back the Wings? Because I can't stand this team, and we thought they might have potentially turned a corner and they went back to sucking. So I don't
No.
know what to expect with this team.
I don't know what to expect. They're eliminated from the playoffs, so I ain't got nothing. Like, at least the Liberty are still trying to figure things out because now, and there's even less incentive to actually sit people because now we have to figure out what exactly is going on with Benajelani Hamilton. That means you have to get real comfortable in your rotations again with a star player out. And so,
For reference, though, they were really good with her out earlier this season.
yeah, and so, but like now we're talking about going into the playoffs and
Yeah.
potentially not
Mhm.
having her. And so now you have to get really comfortable in that, and you only get really comfortable in that with more playing time with your actual units and trying those rotations. Now Phoebich, Kayla Thornton, all the other bench, Kennedy Burke, like all those bench pieces that we were concerned about in the beginning of the year, they're actually playing really well together. So
Mhm.
I don't think it's a lot of drop off there. I'm still laying it. I'm still laying the points. Honestly, I'm not doing anything with this Dallas team right now. I don't know. I have no idea what we're gonna get. The rules do say take the dog in the back to back game set, the first game, but I just Dallas at this point, Dallas has no motivation to do anything, and now I am concerned about the 10.5 wins because they weren't supposed to. They were supposed to get this. They were supposed to get the 10.5 wins already. We're
Well, it
getting
should have
too
been the
close to the
dream.
end.
They were up by like
Yeah,
19 in that game.
they were supposed to get the 10.5 wins already. We weren't supposed to get this far into the back half of the season, and they didn't get it. So now I don't have any faith in them. So I'm good. I'm not playing the side, but it's clear over or nothing.
Yeah, the Liberty team totals at 91.5, but I can't really argue it because they gave up 92 to the Sky. So I guess the Liberty are going over. The Liberty really should name their score in this one. We saw the two meetings in New York a couple weeks ago were actually one of them was competitive, the other one wasn't. But you mentioned them not making the playoffs. They're officially eliminated, so who cares? It's been a season from hell. Satu came back. She's looked fine. She's been healthy. Arike's had a pretty rough year shooting wise, but she's had a couple of solid games, mostly negative, though, to be honest. Natasha came back. She's been fine, I guess, but in reality, I think the Wings just want the season end. I can see them completely just rolling over immediately in this game. It's about when you're getting 9.5 and you're facing off against the number 1 seed in the league, you want effort just so they can hang in there potentially. There's no incentive to hang in there. Like, I just think the Wings might get destroyed because why would they even bother? There's no
Hmm.
motivation. There's no reason for them to actually show up for this game. I think they get killed. So I'll go with the Liberty. The players know they're eliminated. They know they got nothing to play for.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't. And that's the only reason why I can't bet this is because at the end of the day, like WNBA players only get a small amount of games to play. So like look at the Sparks and the Sparks. So they've been eliminated for forever, and
Yeah.
they've been competitive in games, and so
Well, they
that's
also have a
really
very
like
young roster, though. So they have players that are actually trying to get reps in. The Wings are bad, and they have a bunch of veterans. That's
because
not a
like
good combo.
what if the Wings start playing really well here, and then they get to the third quarter and they're like, oh man. Well,
I mean, I
we
mean,
would be pretty good with Paige Beckers. We should, we don't have to go out and try to win this.
I
Like,
don't want to compare it to the Mercury from last year because they had a bunch of injuries at this time, but it's kind of the same idea. You have a bunch of veteran players who obviously want the season to end already, so why would they show any type of edge to them while they're playing? The Sparks have a lot of young players.
hmm
They're not going to win anything. Rakia's still playing 40 minutes. She's
hmm
still getting work in as a rookie. They have a lot of young players who want to get some reps. So there is a I'd say a difference between motivation
I'll
for
say
the
that.
Sparks
Okay.
compared to the Wings. But if you're Natasha, you're McCown, if you're Arike, you've been to the playoffs before, you've made deep runs before. Your team sucked all year. I don't know why you'd suddenly show urgency in this game. I just don't see it. That's the difference for me.
They better enjoy these last couple weeks with Satu, because Satu is not coming back to this team next summer. I'll tell you
Probably
that
not.
right now. I'll tell you that right now. Satu is not coming back to it. Like, they came back and got no better with her. Like, no
No.
better at all.
And she's been putting in some work. It's just the team
Yeah,
hasn't
she's
won
not
anyway.
coming back.
No. But I do
Man,
want to point
matter
out
of fact, you heard it here first. I'm gonna tell you. I think if the Liberty for some reason the Liberty do not win the championship this year, Satu is 100% gonna be on the New York Liberty next year. 100%. The only thing that could stop is if they won the championship.
I'm trying to think
Which I
if there's
think
any
they're
other
gonna win.
teams that I could see her going to. I could see her fitting on the Storm, but they got Gabby Williams. They wouldn't bother.
I'm telling you, she probably wants to go to New York because her sister is in New York.
Yeah, that makes
Her
sense.
best friend is in New York.
No, it makes sense. She has connections.
So like
there.
it feels like it always has felt like it was gonna be the Liberty, but I just never knew how they would make that situation. But Vegas went and signed everybody and makes it work. So why can't
I feel like what concerns me about the Wings in this game, yes, I know the Wings are 2-16 on the road. Like, I understand that it was a road thing. They got smacked by Chicago in the first half. They were down immediately in that game. They showed no sense of urgency at all. They were down 16 at the half. I'm concerned they just come out and immediately get smacked by a team that's still playing for seeding, and they're just going to roll over. They bench everybody at halftime. They let the scrubs play for like the entire second half, and they lose by 20. Like, I can see that happening. It's pretty realistic. Can you see that? They pull the plug, they pull everyone. I can see that happening.
That's why I was thinking about playing props in this one, but I actually don't think I want to.
I thought about maybe some unders if I think players might get pulled.
No,
But
because if they go up 20, they're 100% pulling Sabrina and Brianna. Like
I know I meant
100%.
Dallas pulling people. I didn't even mean New York pull. I mean both teams
Oh
might pull people.
no, I don't know. I think Dallas will let whoever run. Like
I don't
whoever's
know
out
about
there
that.
and keep the rotations.
I don't know.
I think New York would 100% pull people way before Dallas.
New York might too, but I'm just wondering about Dallas. Since you're already eliminated, do you start doing some classic NFL terminology, some talent evaluation when you just bring in
No.
all the scrubs and just let them play the entire fourth quarter? They might. It wouldn't
No,
shock me.
that's not how it works. They don't do that in WNBA.
I don't know how it works anymore. This team sucks. Like, they weren't
Yeah.
supposed to be this bad.
No, I'm just saying in years past, I've never seen anybody like even teams that are eliminated. I've never seen anybody just sit the Stars continue to play. Like
I'm trying to remember what the Mercury did last year because I think they just ruled half the people out for every single game.
I mean, everybody. Well, they were legitly hurt. Like I understood.
Yeah,
that,
I know.
Like,
I'm just saying.
I've never seen people be healthy playing in the game, even when their season is over, and then just like get pulled. Like, nah. Not
just throwing out some potential scenarios there, but so you want Liberty first half then? Because they might pull people, but we saw the Wings get killed in the first half against the Sky anyway. So Liberty first half?
No, because what if Dallas? I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this because I don't know what energy because Dallas very well could just go out there and just say, all right, well we're eliminated. Let's just hoop before we go. Like let's just hoop. Let's go hoop before we go. And they have the offense where they can be up in the game. Like if Dallas was leading at the half, I personally would not be surprised. I'd say, oh okay, the Liberty play with their food. They do what they do when they play lesser competition, like how they did in that Aces game. I'm kind of talking myself in Dallas here, but like how they did in that Aces game, play less competition and kind of let a bad team or somebody that's not on their level hang around. And that's why I just can't. Like I really want to lock up the Liberty because they should dominate this team and kill them by double digits, but I just can't take chances because the Liberty play with their food too much. Like they went on the road to a Sparks team that at this point pretty much had nothing to play for and lost outright. Like I can't.
Okay. That's fine.
All right. Yeah, I'm really good off of this one. I can't really give y'all a good feel with the player props. Stewie, I will say Stewie is at 20 and a half, 21 and a half, something like that. She had 19 in the last game, and that was that slow, ugly 79-71 second game of a back-to-back for those two teams. Every game before that, she's gone over that. She had, what was it, 26, 40, 32-23. I think those were the numbers. Let me go back and make sure I didn't just make those numbers up for y'all. Here we go. Yeah, so 26, 40. I did make up the 23. It was 25 and then 32. So I was
All right.
3 or 4.
Close enough.
I was 3 or 4. That's 75%. All right. Before we get to the next game of slate, gotta talk to you about rhythm. Hey, go create your own sports betting model. Haven't you hear people talk about their models? Hey, my model calls for well, my model calls for well, you can be the person that says my model calls for this, so I'm gonna bet this, and you can do that with Rhythm. They have a team of data scientists that help build this AI, and it gives you all these AI picks as well. So if you don't want to create your model and you don't want to be a model person, because hey, I don't need my own model. I like Rhythm's models. Rhythm's models get me paid, so I'm perfectly fine with that. And hey, Rhythm is calling for a number of things, actually. Oh wow, Rhythm has a whole bunch of plays for the next few days. Well. But Scott, what I will say is Rhythm thinks that the Wings are going to be in the game.
Yeah.
They think the Wings are going to be in the game. They think that that money line, well, that's really what you should do in the back-to-back game way set. They say the money line for the price of plus 362, they say it's worth it to sprinkle just a little bit up there. Hey, anything can happen. This Wings team could just get up out of nowhere. That would be such the Wings to just randomly get up after you've been eliminated from the playoffs. That would be such like this Wings team, actually. So, looky there. You can get a nice little pick there. Also, let's see what else Rhythm likes here. No, that's not today. That's not today. They do like the under in that game as well. Under 171.5. Okay. See, look, I can't even. That's how I know I can't trust the game. Me and Rhythm, we're going back and forth here. I'm leaning over. Rhythm likes the under. Hey, if people get pulled 100%, then the under really looks interesting. So Rhythm, you might actually have a point here. Rhythm, you might be selling me on the under 171 in the Liberty and Wings game. So make sure you go get that 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right. Last game up, we have the Connecticut Sun on the road playing the Los Angeles Sparks. This is the second game of a back-to-back set for these two teams. The Sun did get the first one, 79-67. Cover is 10.5-point favorites. Now they're 9.5-point favorites. 158.5 is the total. We do have a couple of injuries on the injury report here, Scott. Ari McDonald is, well, whenever I can pull
I
it back
don't
up.
believe she played in the last game. So
She's questionable with the ankle injury. Laisha Clarendon is out. And that's it.
yeah, to be honest, just give me the under. I'm not gonna pick a side. I can't stand the Sparks just punting every fourth quarter. They hung in there. They've been somewhat hanging in there for the 3 games as they have covered this number in 2 out of 3. Should have been 3 out of 3, but whatever, it is what it is. The totals have not been close. Line's at 158.5. The under is currently 3-0 this season. In fact, 0 head-to-head games have gone to the 150s. 0. They've all been in the 140s. So 140s, and you had 130 on the dot in late August. So once again, these totals aren't even close. Couple ways to get there. Either the Sun offensively look bad because we know the Sun can have some letdown games, and if the 3-point shooting isn't there, it's ugly to watch them play sometimes. The Sparks, we know, are not a good offensive team. The Sun gave up 9 points in the fourth quarter. Couple ways to get there, but I got to go with the under. I understand it's sort of back-to-back, and that does kind of result in maybe going for the opposite of what happened in the first game, which would result in an over. I can't trust either offense, so give me the under. The under's 3-0 by a wide margin. I think the total's too high.
I'll say the same thing you said in different terms. One, this line is now at 10
Okay.
or 10.5. Either way, it's now it's really fluctuating between 10 and 10.5. So you have Sparks as a double-digit dog. I'm just gonna play it again. Honestly, they've been cashing so much that I'm actually not worried. In hindsight, if I go back and look at it, I'm probably up even if they lose. But I'm gonna just keep back in the trend. Sparks is a double-digit dog. This is a deja vu game, so take the other angle. Sparks plus 10.5. But saying the same thing you said in a different way, 84.5 for this Sun team. who can't get into the 80s against the Spark at all this season. In
And
3
they scored
games, they haven't
24.
scored 80.
They scored 24 in the fourth quarter as well against the Sparks. Like, they weren't even close until the fourth quarter came around.
Yeah, and it took that and it was only because they were down. If they
Yeah.
were up, they weren't going to try to do that.
Yeah.
They weren't doing that if they were up. They were coasting. No, there's so many ways we get here. There's so many ways this can end, and I'm almost positive. Like, you know how since we were talking about Marvel, Doctor Strange, and he said I only saw one future where this works out. I only see one future where they get over 84.5, and that's probably because the gambling gods just hate me. So I'm gonna continue to take it.
Well, based on the Sparks season this so far, I think them and the Wings follow Doctor Doom personally, but who knows? There you go. Thank you.
84.
That's our Marvel pun that you needed
Yeah,
for the show. There you go.
You're
Shout out to Robert Downey Jr. All right.
Hey, it's so funny because did you see him take the mask off?
Yeah, I did. Yep. It is in character. It's in the wrong character because that's an Iron Man move. It's in the wrong character, but it counts. So there you go.
Oh man. Oh, dude. Dr. Doom's supposed to be Romanian too. That's also funny. But like I can't wait to see how they do it. It's gonna be hilarious. Oh, and they're gonna think it's Tony. I can't wait till when Marvel starts getting to this part of the storyline. All right. Yeah, clear cut under. Not even questioning that. I'm on the Sparks. Player props. I mean, if it doesn't start with running Rakia back,
She played
I just
every
don't know.
minute.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. They're going to give her all the work, and she's
yeah.
effective. She's the one. She is the number one on this team. I think I can confidently say she's the number one.
Yeah,
on
she
this
played
team.
all 40 minutes. Like, they never took her off the floor. So I have to agree with you. She had 23 last game.
Yeah.
I had her rebounds, which was a sweat and a half, but she got there.
Player points and rebounds again. She's going to be on the court the entire time. Odyssey Sims getting a bunch of run with Rakia. I think that she's going to shoot the ball a little bit better. I'd take her. And then I'm really good anywhere else. But at the end of the day, Rakia Jackson's going to play all the minutes. Like, maybe not 40 again. Because
at least 35.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I think I'm going to skip
You
the
don't have a
rebounds.
reason not to. You don't have a reason not to. Like, what is your reason not to? She's a rookie. There, you literally don't have a reason not to. I'm perfectly fine taking whatever I would have bet on this game and just putting it on Rakia Jackson and living with the results.
I think I'm just going to take the points here. I don't want the rebounds. I did get there last game with 3.5, but it was definitely not the easiest rebounding stretch in the world. A couple of missed layups, which she ended up capitalizing on, and there was one offensive rebound at the perimeter, which she got. She didn't rebound at all in that game, and I was pretty lucky to get there. I'll stay away from it. 14.5, though, for a player playing 40 minutes is kind of crazy. She's had at least 17 in 5 of the last 7 games. Had 23 last game against the Sun. She also took 18 shots. Like, she was definitely the main focal point of this offense. 14.5 for a number one option is way too low. I don't care who you're against. I'll take the over 14.5.
All right.
If you want an alt, by the way, 19.5. The over's plus 310.
Dang, for another 20 against them?
Yeah. If you want, it's plus 310 if you want it.
Wasn't that
just throwing it out there?
Wasn't that her second 20-point game against them? Or was that the first?
First. She had 25 against Dallas about a week or two ago. She, in the 3 games against Connecticut, 10, 14, and 23. But for minutes, she has been going up pretty steadily in minutes.
Yeah.
So, something to factor in.
You ain't topping. Well, unless you send us to overtime, you ain't topping 40.
Yep.
All right. Lock, dog, underdog, former lock. I just don't see in what world. I don't see in what world the Connecticut Sun score 85 points. Like,
the Sparks have to basically completely no-show the entire game.
Yeah, like completely no-show on defense. Like a complete no-show on defense. And I mean, it's possible. But for the fact of how bad the Sparks were giving up points defensively leading up to that game, and then they give up 79 with the 24-point fourth quarter. Like, they listen to the Sparks 4 games before that game. 88, 80, 93, 92.
Yeah.
And then they give up 79. The Sun team can't score.
I am
Like
going to point out, by the way, the Sun are only one game behind the Lynx for the 2 spots, so the seeding actually is relevant for them in this game.
I'll
Just
take
throwing
the
it out
full
there,
game.
too.
I'll take the full game under of 158.5, but I think that the Sun are going to help me get here. I think the team total is still a good play. I'll take the full game because there is a possibility that LA just comes out here and does no shows offensively and just does nothing. But this has been under, like you said, this has been under clear cut in all 3 games this season. Kurt Miller just coaches this team up to play this Sun team because he coached the Sun for so freaking long. Like, if there was ever a team that Los Angeles could stay in and play really good defense against, it's this Sun team. I'm going to take it again, under 158.5.
Okay.
For my dog. Mm,
Wait, so your lock was the game total, or you wanted the team total?
no, I took the full game.
Okay, that's what I
158.5.
thought. Okay.
Yeah. All right, for the dog. What do I want to do here? I think I'm just gonna. What's that price on Atlanta? Plus 190. Yeah, I'm just gonna take Atlanta on the money line. They really need this game, man. Now the Lynx kind of. I mean, we'll see. This Liberty team just keeps hanging on, and this Lynx team, I just seen it was too many question marks towards the second half of that Washington Mystics game where I was sitting there like, man, like the Mystics really could have came out there and got a money line win if they were just a little bit more competent. I think the Dream are competent enough, and they're still fighting for that playoff spot, and we're getting some pretty good play from Ryan Howard here, and so the issue is, are they going to play enough defense to be able to keep the Mystics from going buck wild on the road? I think so. I think because this is a home game, that's really why I like this. Because of the situation of the season, the fans are going to be in here. They're going to be packed. It's going to be crazy. And I think they're going to will this team to another win. And again, when Tanisha Wright has her entire team at her disposal, they look way better. Like way better. Everybody's playing here. I'm back in the Atlanta Dream. Plus 190 on the money line. That's my dog, Scott.
So for my lock, I also did like that under in that Sun game. The question is, do I want to double lock it? I felt pretty good about it. I thought about taking Carlton over 3.5 rebounds, but unfortunately that line has moved a bit. It's at 138, so it's actually not that bad. Do I want to go with it? Because she has been good rebounding against this team in particular. I think I am going to go for it. Yeah, I'll go with the player prop angle. They've been good to me. Give me Bridget Carlton. I'll take her over 3.5 rebounds at minus 138. I believe you lagged out when I made my initial case, so I'll make it again. She has had at least 4 rebounds in 6 straight, at least 4 rebounds in 8 of the last 10, at least 4 rebounds in 16 of the last 20. And on top of that, she's also had at least 4 rebounds in 4 straight against Atlanta. Besides Charles, they really don't rebound that well. So give me Carlton in a good spot, in my opinion, to get some boards. So I am going to go with Carlton over 3.5 rebounds as my lock at minus 138. For my dog, I think for this one, I am going to go. Do I want to go with a parlay or do I want to go with something? I got to figure out what I want to do because I really do think the Liberty kicked this team's ass. The question is, do I think they actually get to like 92 points on the road, which is kind of a tough ask. They really could get there, though. It's such a tough call.
Well,
Let me see
9
what they
really
have.
is. They can. I mean, I think it can lay 9.
I think they can too. I was kind of wondering if I wanted to go for an alt line. That's kind of what I was thinking about. But unfortunately, I don't believe I see an alt line on FanDuel. Let me just quickly see if I could find something for DraftKings. No, I mean 5.5 first half spread is pretty appealing, but I was looking for an alt. I might want the like first half minus like 8.5. I think they're going to smack them in the first half.
Hold on. So, all right, I'm here with you on Bet365.
Okay.
So you looking for an alt spread?
I was looking for an alt first half, which I have.
Oh, alt
So
first.
I found it. So let me just quickly pull it up. 8.5's plus 155. I could go team total first half. 49.5's at 2-1 actually. It's pretty appealing. I think I'll do that instead. Give me the Liberty first half team total over 49.5. They might sit some people, but I think with the start of the game, they're going to kick their asses. The Wings are going to no-show. We saw them get buried by the Sky in the first half of the last game. 51 the Sky first half last game. I just don't trust the team to guard anybody. Give me Liberty first half team total over 49.5. Plus 200.
All right. What is the underdog play for today?
Well, I definitely want Ryan Howard points just based on 19.5 being a bit of a pretty cheap number based on her, what is it, 3 straight 30-plus point games? I think.
Well, underdog has 20.5.
Of course they do. All right, you want Charles rebounds or double-double, whichever one's cheaper?
No, well, double-double is 0.77. Rebounds is 10.5, 0.91. So...
All right, they're being haters
underdog,
today.
you're trying to. They're trying to make me work for this now. Okay, even Bridges 3.5 rebounds is at 0.89.
Okay. Well, Rakia points we can agree on at 14.5.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, let's go get that.
Okay.
Where's that play at? Higher 14.5 for Rakia. We can.
Did you want AT assists because she had a triple double last game?
She did have a triple double, but
she's had at least 8 assists, by the way, in 5 of the last 6 against the Sparks.
It's at 0.9.
Of course it is. Okay.
So I mean,
I'm doing my best here.
Let's look around. Yeah, it's a lot of. Yeah, they're making us work. Even Satu's assist is brought down.
I was gonna quickly check Alicia Ray threes if I could find a decent number on that. Okay. I know Minnesota's good at guarding the 3-point line, but I just meant in general. No, it's at 152. I can't take that.
No. And it's at 0.76. Oh my gosh. All of the best. Okay, so we're still going through. I'm gonna make you take Ryan Howard. We're still taking Ryan Howard plus higher 20.5 because I still feel good about that. And I think they win the game. We have and then no, the points is kind of concerning for Tina because they play really, really good interior defense, especially Lonte Smith.
Yeah, they do.
So I will.
Unless you just want the 10.5 rebounds, but that might be pushing it. You want to just run back AT?
Yeah, let's run AT back. Try to see if there's any. I don't want anything to do with Dallas.
Yep.
I'm not gonna do it now, but if you were to sit here and talk me into a Hamby lower, I would 100% be willing to listen. And
how'd you do in the last game?
I think she had like 10 and 7, man.
She had exactly 10 and 7. Yeah, let's do that again. We've been roasting Hamby on the show for a couple weeks.
Like it's just that now there's so much usage when you talk about Rakia, Ray Burrell, Odyssey Sims. Like it's just so much more usage now. She just doesn't get the same burn. And
for reference, by the way, she has gone under 20 PR in all 3 games this season against the Sun.
We don't have PR, but I got 25.5 PRA. So
I'm assuming she went under all that too against this guy. Yeah, she's gone under in 6 straight against the Sun on that PRA. So I don't mind that. Yeah, that works for me.
Great. I'm glad we got to fit that into the show because I had been thinking about it and I'm like, man, Hamby is really just like, but this is where I thought the team was going to be months ago. And honestly, if the team was doing this, they might have won a couple of more games. But Rakia Jackson is just playing really well, so we got to back it. All right, Rakia Jackson higher, 14.5 points. De'Erica Hamby lower, 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Ryan Howard higher, 20.5 points. Add that in the underdogs, shake it up, and you get 6x on the underdog lineup. Hey, underdog, man, what's with all the? I like the spicy plays, but not the.
You're juicing all our action, man.
Yeah, like all the stuff.
If you wanted juice, we'd go to the sports book. Come on, man. Just saying. I'm just saying. Daily fantasy book. There's a lot of juice in daily fantasy nowadays, apparently. Come on. Just saying.
NBA SGPN for that promo code. 6x is that underdog lineup. $100 gets $600. Man, Scott, anything else for people other than anything else?
No, not really. Looking forward to the games tomorrow, obviously. We got the playoffs around the corner, so hopefully you've enjoyed the regular season with us. Besides that, not really. We got no football for a couple days. No tennis on the men's side for about a week and a half, so I'll be off there. Maybe I'll do a recap episode for the U.S. Open. Probably nothing substantial, so probably not going to have an episode there. But yeah, mostly just keeping busy, watching baseball. Almost the end of the season there, too. A lot of fun stuff coming up. You got playoff baseball, you got the NFL season, you got college, and you got WNBA playoffs. A lot of fun stuff.
Baseball has playoffs?
Yeah, they do.
Wow. What's their championship game called?
I think it's called the World Series, but it's not just one game. It's a series of games.
Wait, does everybody in the world play?
Not quite. If you win the World Series, you're not the best in the world, but you're the best in America, right? So that's kind of how it goes, according to Noah Lyles. But
What?
I'll put it this way: I don't know.
Why isn't it the American series?
It's not. There's two leagues. You have the American and the National League, and there is an American.
What?
Series, yeah, I know.
I've always thought that was funny. You have the American League and the National. Like, what?
One's America, the other one's just the National League, which is the same thing. It's just a different name, I guess.
Yeah, like when they did those mergers, I guess it's when that merger, all that. I don't know. I just felt like a new name was warranted, and you guys could have came up with a new name instead of rocking with. And they do it in multiple leagues too. All right. Hey everybody, appreciate y'all for just letting us listen to us ramble. We've been way done with this.
I wasn't expecting a baseball rant there at the end.
Yeah, no. I don't know what came over. I don't know what came over me.
I thought you were making like a Noah Lyles like
world
champion joke, and then I just was like, all right, cool.
No, I was, and then I thought about it. I'm like, dang, why do we still keep the American and national name? We could have definitely like named these conferences something else. All right. Oh, parlay. They want a parlay. I didn't do a parlay, did I?
I thought you intentionally skipped it, so I didn't bother reminding you.
No, I didn't. I actually didn't. I just didn't do it. Okay. Let's see. How do we want to get to the money tomorrow? Let me I'm just going to back the two people that I feel really good about tomorrow. I feel really good about Ryan Howard, and I feel really good about Rickea Jackson. Okay. So, let's see. We can do a little 2025. Nah. Let's not do that. Let's just be regular. Rickea over 14.5 points. Ryan Howard over 19.5 points. And let's go with Stewie. Just in case. And let's just make it all player props. Because Stewie kills his team. And she may only need 3 quarters to kill this team for another 20 plus points. So Stewie, 21.5. There we go. That's 535. That feels good. And these are 3 players that I feel comfortable with. Rickea, Ryan, Stewie, all over on their points. There we go. All right. Where are we at? Yeah, that's it. I mean, I really don't. Make sure you give Scott a follow at Reichel Radio. And give me a follow at __. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast. Hey, the NBA is almost back.
It is. We got to do some off-season shows, actually.
Yeah, we do.
We'll get to those at some point. It's fine.
At some point. We still got maybe an WNBA playoff time. Around that time, we may throw in some future stuff and all of that. Who's gonna win the NBA Cup this year? I'm putting my money on the Lakers because it would just be the most hilarious thing if the Lakers went back to back in the NBA Cup. All right.
Some said that they still have the banner hanging from the title.
They do, and then they would add another like little thing to the banner. I feel like the Lakers, like, there's no more fun bet in the NBA Cup if you're making a bet in the NBA Cup than just taking the Lakers and hoping that they do the funniest thing ever and win 2 NBA Cup championships.
Like, I'm trying to think where I'd go with it. I'd probably pick Boston because I haven't seen them winning the NBA Finals again. So I'll give them another banner, but not the important one. So I'll go with Boston.
But not the important one.
Yeah, the Lakers got one. They're going to compare banners.
They did say that Boston is on revenge mode for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
I don't know what that means.
Because Jaylen Brown didn't get picked for the Olympic
that
team.
I remember. And then what's the revenge for Tatum?
And then because Tatum got benched the whole Olympic run.
Cool. He should have played better. I don't know why that's a problem.
You know,
The Jaylen Brown one I can get because they took Derek White over him. Like, I can understand that argument. The Tatum one played better.
well,
Halliburton didn't care.
So I think the mindset was that Derek White and Drew Holiday played like very sustained minutes, and Jason Tatum did not.
Yeah.
And I don't get it.
Okay.
But I just thought it was funny because I'm sure Jason Tatum's in the back and like, I know I need to be started. Like, look at who they got starting on me. Drew Holiday? Drew Holiday starting over me, like talking about his own teammates.
Two-time champion Drew Holiday.
Derek White starting over me, like he's just talking about his own teammates, man. I know it.
Some of it's position based. At the end of the day, Tatum didn't really do much in the Olympics. All I know is Halliburton didn't complain.
Nope.
He should not have been getting minutes.
His A.
He didn't get minutes, and he got the A on the group project without doing anything. That's fine. It's all good. You got a gold medal out of it. All good.
Shout out to the Nova Knicks. All right, that's it. Oh yeah, leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You know, also got a gold medal in basketball doing nothing.
Who?
Christian Laettner.
That's fine. Man, I thought you were about to. Because I'm in WNBA mode, I thought you were about to pull a fast one on me and say Diana Taurasi. I was about to be so weak. Oh,
Taurasi got 6 of them. I'm just saying there are worse things to be than a bench player on a gold medal team. Like, relax. Like, calm down. It's fine.
Oh, man. All right. That's it. Nothing else to say. Nothing else to do. No other way of ending podcast. Just going to like this. Yeah, man. Nova Knicks. If the Knicks win the finals, I don't know what y'all would.
They were a good pick for the in season.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fun. Yeah. Knicks in season would be fun. I need them to win something. All right, we're out of here.